So the mayor of Tuscaloosa is trying to do something that, if it succeeds, will result in most Houston County residents paying more for their online purchases.
Oh my holy crap.
You heard that correct. One of Alabama's big town mayors wants you to pay more so he can have more tax dollars to spend. But how can he do that? And what are we doing to stop it? This is a complicated issue, so let me tee it up for you.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
So first, we need to talk about sales tax. If you buy something for $1 inside the city limits of Dothan, you're going to pay 9 cents in sales tax. 4 pennies is going to go to the state of Alabama, 4 pennies to the city of Dothan, and 1 penny to Houston County. But that 1 penny gets divided up into thirds. Roughly 1/3 goes to the city of Dothan school system, 1/3 goes to the Houston County school system, and 1/3 is going to go to actually Houston County itself. Now that sounds simple enough, but what if you live outside the city limits of Dothan? What if you live in another municipality that has a different sales tax rate? What if you live outside of all municipalities but within the police jurisdiction of a municipality? All of those scenarios have different sales tax rates with different amounts going to different towns. So I think you get the point that this is quickly becoming complicated. In fact, Alabama has one of the most Byzantine sales tax collection schemes in the entire United States, and this is a big problem for internet retailers.
So what's the logical solution?
Enter Alabama's simplified seller's use tax. It's not a sales tax, it's a use tax that the state requires internet retailers to collect on behalf of purchasers from the state of Alabama. Alabama's SSUT program is very simple. There's an 8% tax assessed on all purchases made from Alabama residents. 50% of that tax money goes to the state of Alabama, 30% goes to municipalities divided based on population, and 20% gets divided amongst the counties, again, based on population. The problem for Walt Maddox is this. Prior to the internet, people used to travel from outside the town of Tuscaloosa into town to do most of their shopping. But these days, everything is available at the click of a button on the internet. Now, Walt has proposed a few different solutions for his problem. He tried to get the state to distribute the local use tax funds based on local sales tax figures. This would essentially penalize a lot of the smaller communities where people live and benefit only the larger cities in Alabama. He's also tried to raise the SSUT rate to over 9%. You see, when SSUT was implemented, the average sales tax rate in the state of Alabama was about 8%. These days, in 2025, it's over 9.4%. Now, Walt claims this is to level the playing field and to stop penalizing local retailers who have to compete with online retailers who don't have to charge as high of a tax. But it's interesting he makes that point, because the problem isn't that the SSUT rate is artificially low. The problem is that municipalities keep raising their sales tax. His latest solution is a lawsuit trying to force the state of Alabama to report where items are shipped to and what items are purchased. This would be a gross invasion of privacy. Who wants the state of Alabama to know what you're buying online? And this would also be incredibly complicated and incredibly expensive for internet retailers to do, and that in and of itself would make the Alabama's SSUT program most likely unconstitutional. So this would mean, like most communities in Colorado, which also has a very Byzantine sales tax scheme, your community likely would stop receiving SSUT. You may think to yourself, well, great, I wouldn't have to pay SSUT. Well, you're still going to have to pay it, because the Alabama State General Fund requires SSUT to make its budget. So you'd still pay it, but your local community would not benefit. Now, Walt may be a little left on the political spectrum, but he's no dummy. He knows he can never get the votes in the Alabama legislature to gut its own general fund, which is why he's resorted to this lawsuit. And it's one that Houston County, along with the 66 other counties in Alabama, will ensure gets defeated. And this is where you come in. If you'd like to help this cause, be sure to ask your local legislators to oppose Walt's radical scheme to tax you so he can spend more money in Tuscaloosa.